There's a wave of corn and beans coming this year that will be bigger than ever. On this week's Bottom Line, Neil Melancon tells us why, if the USDA is right, we'll have more grain than we've ever seen, both in the U.S. and here in Louisiana.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry.
At the start of this year, we knew two things about this year's crop. One was that corn would have a big carryout from 2013 and any new corn would be piled on top of that. Two, the soybean carryout was at an all-time low, and unless something changed, this year's crop likely wouldn't affect it much. Well, the first part of that came true and more. However, even though this year's corn crop is huge, so are soybeans. So much, in fact, that we've seen beans dip below $10 per bushel for the first time in years. Taking a look at the September USDA supply and demand report, we can see the report for corn at 14.5 billion bushels. That's up 3% from both August and last year. Yields at 171.7 are about 4.5 bushels from August and 12.9% above 2013. Both these numbers are records. Louisiana, meanwhile, is producing 73.8 million bushels. That's about 36% less than last year, but at 172 bushels per acre, we've set a new record there as well. The acreage numbers for both the U.S. and Louisiana are down from last year, once again showing farmers are doing more with less. For beans, the U.S. harvest will be about 3.9 billion bushels, also up 3% from the August crop report and well above 2013. Yields should set a record at 46.5 bushels per acre. That's up a bushel or so from August and 3.3 bushels from last year. The corn acreage lost clearly went into beans, which is a record there as well. Finally, some good news for cotton. The overall crop is down a bit from the August report, but making a recovery from years of downward production and acreage. The forecasted 16.5 million bales is up almost a third from a year ago. The bottom line is this crop is almost certainly going to hang over the markets like an 800-pound gorilla, suppressing prices and affecting acreage worldwide. We've already seen some countries in South America reduce planting intentions by about 1 million acres or more in corn alone. The likelihood is this crop will affect acreage into the U.S. next year as well. Even if the yield numbers are different from this report or acreage doesn't come in quite as expected, it's still going to be monstrous. The only thing that can dramatically change the course of this year's harvest is widespread early freeze. And Kristen, we've already seen some snowfall, but it just looks like nothing's going to stop this crop right now.
Seems like the cyclical path of agriculture and economics in general. What goes up must come down.
You're right.
So, thanks, Neil. Well, that about does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. We'll be back in 2 weeks with an all-new episode. Until then, you can watch all of our stories from this show or past shows on our website, twilatv.org. And keep up with what we're doing via Facebook and Twitter. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again right here next week.